Hello, welcome to a podcast episode. It's Sunday, it is the afternoon, and I've just all week been wanting to do another podcast episode. I was mentioned on the lovely Purl podcast, and I've been watching some of her stuff and I've been really enjoying it. I had friends who were watching, but I hadn't been watching until someone told me that she was watching me, so I thought I would watch back, and I really enjoyed how kind of calm her episodes were and how she's left in a lot of this sort of stuff, a lot of the figuring it out. I liked watching it, so I thought I would challenge myself to do that, to try and chill out a bit and talk about things a little bit more relaxed and in kind of one long go. I've been enjoying making these vlogs recently, but nano man the editing, and I do not have time for that. I'm deep into my last placement at school doing English teaching. Hello to anyone who's new. I'm doing my student teacher year in secondary English teaching, and that's quite a lot right now, and there's just a lot of other things going on. I might have to move house. It's all happening, so I thought a long episode where I don't have to edit would be so. That's how we've landed here, and that's how we're 2 minutes in and I'm still rambling, because that's the kind of episode it's going to be. So first thing first, get yourself a cup of tea. I thought I would show you the tea that I'm drinking, because yesterday I went to this shop called Real Foods that we have in Edinburgh, which I really like. And they're kind of like a Whole Foods-y type place. Not like Whole Foods the shop, but like Whole Foods, like Whole Foods, that item. They're nothing like Whole Foods the shop. But yeah, they have a lot of really good teas. So if I want to get weird teas, I go to them. And this is one that said it was a bestseller, so I thought I'd try it. I really like spicy teas, like a chai, that sort of thing. And this is called Bengal Spice. And I almost didn't buy it because I felt like there was something colonialist about the imagery, but the tea is really good. So it's just spicy and sweet. It's got cinnamon, chicory, carob, ginger, cinnamon flavour, cardamom, black pepper, cloves and nutmeg. And it tastes like it has honey in it. I'm drinking it with a little bit of oat milk. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see. I'm not going to tip my tea on you. But I'm enjoying it. So yeah, tea rack, if you want it. Another thing that I'm trying to shake up for today is that I've made notes. Would you believe it? I'm filming on my phone, a little bit of admin up front. I've auto-focused on this door because something I've noticed when I film like this is that sometimes, because I'm like right in front of a window, and I like to film there because it's natural light and I think you get the colours like best as possible on the knitted objects, and I just, you know, it's a good setup for me. But it means that sometimes it kind of goes and because it's so dark behind me, sometimes it just goes really like bright, dark, and I find that annoying when I'm watching it in editing, so I can only imagine you must find it annoying watching it. So I've tried to do that by putting that there, but I'm realizing that it may not, like for example, you can't see this white paper because it's brighter than the door. So I may need to change that around to show you the objects that I will get around to showing you soon, I promise. Oh, it is weird doing it this way, isn't it? I'm almost 5 minutes in, I've not showed a single thing, but that's fine, that's what we're doing today. I've put my diffuser on, so if you can hear a little like whoosh in the background, that's my diffuser pumping out like lavender smells to chill me out. And my tea is also working to chill me out. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm filming on my phone. It may die. It still doesn't have loads of battery because I've been working on some new songs, and I was recording myself singing those songs to see what I needed to change. So yeah, and if you're following me on TikTok, you'll have seen the song that I was practicing today. So yeah, I think that's all the admin. Let's crack on with the knitting. Let's, there we go, play around with that a little bit. We'll see when I show the things. So I have 3 finished objects, 3 works in progress, 1 frog that I want to talk about, and at the end there's like some next up plans for later that I want to do. So all that's happening in this podcast. I hope you've got a tea by now, because, and some knitting obviously, or crochet or sewing, whatever you fancy, because it's going to be a long one. That's the plan. Right, let's start with my finished objects. I have folded them nicely into this little pile, which actually those colours are coming out pretty accurately, so that's great. 2 are shawls, 1 is a little top. All of them I've talked about before, and actually one of them I think I have talked about as a finished object, but I just blocked it recently, so I thought I'd show it again. By blocked, I mean I washed it in my bath and then hung it out to dry. I don't have a blocking board, or I don't pin block things. I just lay them flat and let them dry that way. But they seem to have done pretty well. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Kevat Sweater. It's K-E-V-A with like an umlaut T, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, by Caitlin Hunter. And I knit this in a size 3. I'm looking at my notes. It's weird, I don't usually have notes. I usually just say I don't know things. And I'm actually realizing that I didn't put what yarns it was. But as this is my knitting notebook, if I flick back, there we go. It's made out of Susurro, which is a Malabrigo yarn. That is a silk, merino wool, linen blend in the colour Tourmaline, and a drop Belle, just like the white bit. So I will show you the top. This is it. This is the top. That is a very accurate colour read. So far my plan is working. Yeah, I just think it's lovely. It's got this beautiful pattern. There you go. Oh, that is perfect. And then the lace pattern continues along the bottom. And I knit this in like a few weeks. It was really easy, really addictive, because the repeats are so short and it's a different, like this whole yoke, these are all like different things. The one thing I hated about it was the bubbles. Can't stand a bubble. But that's just a me problem. That's not a pattern problem, and they look good, so I would do it again. I would do it again. But yeah, I knit this in a size 3 if I didn't already say. I'm obviously not wearing it right now. I could put it on, but I'm not going to because I just washed it and it's so clean. I wore it to school a few days ago, I think. And I don't know if anyone else has this problem with like spring knits, but like when I'm teaching, I am warm. I'm so warm. I don't think I've ever been so warm, because you're just walking around and the room is hot and there's all these teenagers. Actually, I'm a little warm now, so I'm gonna open the window. You can get some bird noises as well as diffuser noises. I just get so warm. I'm so warm. So I'm sweating on the sweater, which is not usually a problem because usually I'm wearing things in winter. This is one of the first things that I've made that's like a short sleeve little number. So I'm kind of hesitant to wear it lots at school, which is a shame because I kind of hoped that it would be like a really good thing to wear. I know that like wool is quite like antibacterial and tends to not smell so much, so like maybe it would be fine, but obviously I can't wash it all the time because it's a real faff to wash. So yes, I'm really happy with how this blocked out and how it looks, and it's such, like it goes so well. It's just the right length for all of my like high-waisted stuff. Actually, as a note, I did do one extra pattern repeat of this section. I did 4 V's instead of 3 V's which is supposed to be for the cropped version, is 3Bs, but I did 4 because I've got a long torso because I'm 5'11". So I did a little extra one there, and that's made it just the perfect length, and you almost used all the yarn, so that was ideal. But yeah, if you're a spring sweater person, put down below how do you wear them without sweating on them. I guess I could wear like a t-shirt underneath. I usually wear like one of these little like a little vest underneath. Maybe I need to wear a t-shirt underneath. Anyway, but that's my first finished object. 10 minutes in, we've done one object, and that's it. I'm gonna put it there. My second finished object is one that I've been working on for ages, and it is by Suzen over at KnitLib. Love to knit one of her patterns, love her podcast. I'm sure you all are aware of it because she has many more followers than I do, but if you don't, I'll link it down below. She's very enjoyable podcaster, really enjoy her stuff, encourages me to go outside my like neutral zone and into stuff like this. So this is the 7th Street Shawl. I think it's a pattern that Suzen made during the lockdown, looking out at a street called 7th Street, I'm assuming. And it's got 7 repeats of everything in it, which makes sense. And 7 is one of my favorite numbers. I grew up in a number 7 house. I've got 7 letters in my name. What else was good about 7? Oh, my birthday is the 7th. So there you go. Some information about me and the number 7. So I wanted to make this. I did be not very creative and just made it in exactly the same colours that Suzen made hers in. So that's what I did. And this yarn is from, I'm not going to remember. This is what I should have put in my notes. I'll put it down below. Or actually it's on my Ravelry. Look on my Ravelry, and if Ravelry is inaccessible to you, drop a comment and I will let you know. The only slight problem with this, not with the pattern, but with me, is that in the blocking, I've somehow ended up with this, like this situation. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like come apart at the sides, but I also can't see any, I can see like loops that are clearly like not what they're supposed to be, but I can't see any like ends of yarn. Like clearly I didn't weave the ends in enough or something and they've come out during the blocking, but like I can't see where they are to fix them, so I'm kind of just leaving it and hoping that it's like felted enough that it's not going to come apart, and if it does come apart I'll deal with it then. I mean obviously it has already slightly come apart, but I just don't know what to do with it, so I'm just leaving that for now, hoping for the best. It's got this lovely I-cord all around the edge except for here where it's come undone. Don't know why, don't know how, don't know how to fix it, so I'm just leaving it. Like this shawl is still intact, it's still got integrity, it just doesn't look great around that spot, but the rest of it, all the I-cord bind off looks great. I ran out of the pink yarn towards the end, so I had to do the bind off in the neon, which was fine. Yeah, not that much to say about it really. A really fun knit to make. These colours are relatively accurate. I don't think it's worth changing the autofocus to anything else because that is the colour really. So yes, that is the 7th Street shawl. I will be, I guess I could wear it in this season because it's Scotland. It does get chilly in the evenings, and actually it's quite a nice lightweight shawl, so it will be good for those times. And when I find an outfit that is worthy of this colour combo, I will wear that. And it's very soft, it's very squishy. It only took 2 skeins of like fingering weight of 100 grams, and it went quite a long way. Like it's a big shawl. Yeah, just really enjoyed it. This kept me company during my placements. I kind of took it with me and knit on it like during my lunch break or while I was like reading through student work and stuff. And it's great for that because it's got loads of just stockinette and then there's just little eyelets that is really blown out. Oh, there you go, now you can see it. Yeah, just good for a bit of like comfort knitting, and we'll come back to comfort knitting later because that is what I'm all about at the moment. Either comfort knitting or like really complicated knitting, I feel like is what I'm drawn to at the moment. So I either want to be like super entertained by what I'm knitting or super soothed. Make of that what you will. The last one that I want to talk about in my finished object is one that I've definitely talked about before, but I just wanted to show you again and talk about it in like the podcast format. Is my Pressed Flowers shawl by Amy Kristoffers. I'm very proud of myself for writing down who made everything. I feel like a real podcaster, knowing my stuff. But yeah, this is huge, it's massive, and it's beautiful, and I love knitting it, and I made it out of, oh, what is it called? Of wool. I think it's got wool in the title. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it's like a British yarn. It's really cheap. I've talked about it before. I made my neon sweater out of it, again, on my Ravelry or down below. And it took 2 skeins, one of each colour. But their skeins are 200 grams of fingering weight, which I held double for this. So, which would make it was like 100, no, it was still 200 grams. The weight didn't change, but I held it double, so it was not fingering weight, it was more like a sport weight DK, which is perfect. It's a like bit thicker, it's got quite of a substantial feel to it. I feel like I've talked about this a lot, so I don't really want to go on about it too much. I just want to show you all of it because it's lovely. And the curly bit that I was worried about before did block out, so that's great. Really, really serious yarn chicken with this. Like the pink colour, I had like literally this much left, no joke. But I did it. I got all the repeats in, so I was well chuffed, really proud of myself. Yeah, I would make this again. I was saying to a friend that I want to make like a baby blanket version of this. So instead of just going out in 2 directions, I do like a magic cast on and go out in 4 directions and just basically like put this, but again the other side, so it like is 2 triangles and makes a square. I think it would just be such a nice baby blanket. Probably not in this yarn because it's a bit itchy scratchy, but in something a bit softer. I just think it would be lovely. And you maybe wouldn't have to make it quite as big. You could do like fewer repeats and then just go straight into the edge bit. But I think it would make a gorgeous baby blanket. Imagine that, but double. Instead of my head, you got more of this. It's all together. So yeah, that would be a goal for in the future. I don't know anyone who's having a baby at the moment, but I know of. Maybe someone's having a baby, I don't know yet, but I'm not currently aware of any babies that need a blanket. But when I am, this one. Or actually, there's another, it's like a spiral blanket that Soul Mama made. I am reliving my Soul Mama phase. I've been reading through her blog. As ever, I feel like I mention her all the time, but she was like my OG knitting inspiration, knitting person that I paid attention to. And I just love her stuff. I feel like it's so nostalgic for me, like all of the things that she's ever made. So like the patterns, there's like so many patterns that I just know through her. And there's this like spiral baby blanket, I can't remember what it is. It was called the pinwheel blanket, I can remember actually. And it just looks so pretty, and I've always wanted to make it for a baby, so that one is on my baby blanket list. This is now on my baby blanket list, and also I want to make a leaves of grass shawl as a baby blanket, because I did once make a leaves of grass shawl as a baby blanket and it got eaten by moths, so I want to repeat that. I very nostalgically, very romantically knit it during the summer of my 18th year, or the summer 17 leading into 18, or 18 leading into 19, I can't remember. My birthday is at like the end of summer, so I always have like, my age is like done by school years, which always feels very like significant or whatever, but I was like, made this baby blanket. I was like, I'm gonna put it away and it'll be for my first baby. And then I put it away, clearly not well enough because the moths got it. So I'd like to remake that at some point, maybe in the summer of my 28th year, 10 years later. I'm now 25, so that'll be 3 years from now. Who knows what's gonna be happening then? Maybe I'll be making a baby blanket. Anyway, moving on. Works in progress. I have so many works in progress, not so many works in progress. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I have so many like new works in progress that I forgot about one of them. So I'm going to start with that one so that I don't forget about it. I was like looking on my Ravelry for like information for the ones that I'd already written down. And I was like, oh yeah, I made that one. I've actually got quite far, but I've just abandoned it for something that I'm more interested in at the moment. So you can see this, but it's not top of the list to get more love, but I am happy with it. So it's the number 18 sweater, or sweater number 18 by My Favorite Things, which I don't know who is the person behind My Favorite Things, but that is what it is. And I'm making it with this yarn, which was a gift from a friend who was not using it. It was, I mean, it looks like it's been like avocado dyed. That's my guess. That was her guess. So that's what we're thinking. It's about like a worsted weight, somewhere between a DK and a worsted, around there. I'm using 5mm needles to knit it, and I would say I'm like an average to loose knitter, if that tells you anything. I think this is like what is required by the pattern, so I'm like bang on gauge for this one. And I should have weighed it so that I actually know how much I had, but it's like worked out to be kind of like 4 big balls like this. So I thought I could get in like a cropped sweater with maybe short sleeves. I'd started a vest with the yarn. But I didn't like it. I didn't like how it was knitting up, and I saw this pattern and it looked like it was made in exactly this kind of colour and type of yarn, so I was like, great, that's the one. And I have done so far the back and the start of the front, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm showing it to you the right way. Yes, so the back is on stoppers and the front is still on needles. And this is how far I've got. So it's all like a knit purl pattern, but it's kind of different the whole way down. You can see, and you can kind of see how rusticy the yarn is. It's kind of a bit knobbly and bobbly. It's not the same size all the way through. So yes, you knit the back and put it on stoppers. So you knit from like here to here. And then you pick up stitches on the shoulders and knit forward, and then, or do, you know, you can do that on one side, do it on the other side, connect it all together, and then start knitting. And then eventually I'll mix the two together for like under the sleeves, and then keep going down. So yeah, I was really enjoying that for a hot minute, and then clearly something else got in the way because I just stopped making it. But I will pick it back up, and I think it goes really quickly because it's like 5mm needles. And I am only on my second ball at the moment, so I'm hoping to make it through to the crop part, maybe midway through the third ball, and then have a ball and a half to do like just kind of short. I kind of want to do like puffy sleeves, but it kind of sits out here, the sweater. Like it sits, do you know what I mean? Like the sleeves are quite, like my actual armpit is there and the sleeve ends there. So I don't know if it'll actually suit a puffy sleeve. I don't think, they're not puffy sleeves in the pattern, but I thought if I was doing a short sleeve, it would look cute, puffy. I'd just like pick up a few extra stitches around the side. But I'll see, we'll see how much we have. I might just go like a straight short sleeve business, or even make it like a vest. Those are quite cool right now, like wider vests, and just knit. That might be a good look actually. So we'll see how we go with the yarn. This is like a real unknown, like there was no label on the yarn. It was like a huge hank, it was a lot. And it's very like itchy scratchy, but not in an unpleasant way, just in a like toothy way. In a little toothy way. And it goes well with the texture. It's good, it's quite simple, something to work on. Not very transportable at the moment because it's so much knitting, but we'll see how we get with it. And then just plod on from there, really. So that is sweater number 18 by My Favourite Things, my first work in progress in this bag from Skein and the Stitch, which came with my Advent yarn 2021. So yes, now I have to remember, I've got all my bags here on the bed, and I have to remember what's in what, because the next thing that I want to talk about, actually I know where it is, I've got a bit of yarn in my mouth. Tools of the trade. Right. Sorry for all the chair squeaking, by the way. It's not my chair, it's my landlord's chair. I was going to say it's my landlord's desk, it's not my desk. I own this desk that you're sat on, but I do not own this chair, so hence why it's a little squeaky. Tea break. Oh, right. I've got this whip, I've got another whip, and then a little bit of talking at the end. Just to, I feel like I'm going into teacher mode where I need to like give you the expectations for what's going to happen next. You're all adults. Maybe you're not all adults, but you're not my students. You're just internet friends, so I don't need to tell you what's going to happen next. But this is what happens when I just let myself ramble. Just let myself go for it. It's quite fun. But yes, ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna insert a clip here. Because yesterday I went to my local yarn store, Kathy's Knit. It's like a 10-minute walk away. It's great, very knowledgeable. Has like a good selection of like Scottish and British yarns. A few hand-dyed things, not really my style. The hand-dyed, it's quite like bright, and not in the way that I like bright at the moment, but a lot of like the commercial stuff that she has I really like, and it's like a relatively good price and is great because I don't have to order it online. I can go to the shop and get it in 10 minutes. Amazing. Like I can be thinking, as I was yesterday, I'd really like to cast on a pair of socks so that I have something to knit at work, and then 20 minutes later I have 4 balls of sock yarn. Insert clip here where I show you all the sock yarn. Or I could just show you it now because I've literally got it next to me. But I did quite a good clip yesterday. We'll see what I decide to do. But I put on, I'm just getting it now, I'll show you again. I put on my Instagram story a little like, here's the yarn that I bought, which one should I start with? And in a classic contrary move, I did the one that got the least votes. Because I found a pattern that I was like, yes, I want to make this pattern, and it wouldn't have worked with the other colours, but I'm definitely going to cast on socks with these 2 other colours that got higher votes soon because they're equally beautiful and I really like them. So what should I show you first? I've got all the yarn in front of me, just a little teaser trailer. This was I'll show you the one yarn that I didn't put on my Instagram story, which was this one, which is, again, it's West Yorkshire Spinners. It's all West Yorkshire Spinners, signature 4-ply, which I have to be honest, I'm a little, well, I almost didn't go to get sock yarn from Kathy's Knits because I know that what she has is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. And I have knit so many socks with West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply because they have great colours. They're the yarn that's kind of like the most commercially available in the UK, that's like made in the UK. It's made in Yorkshire, which is in the north of England, for anyone who doesn't know, isn't from around here. And it's, yeah, it's just like, it's not that expensive, but it's really good quality. It's got like a good, you know, nylon wool blend. Some of them have blue-faced Leicester, is that what it's called? Yeah, blue-faced Leicester. In fact, all of them have 35% blue face Leicester, which is a nice type of wool. But I was just getting a bit bored of it. You know, like when you just get bored of a texture. Like I've made so many socks that are this texture and I like it. It's not terrible. Like it's a good yarn. It's very sturdy. It does not break. It's like definitely really great for socks. It goes really far. You could probably easily get 2 pairs of socks out of 100 grams. It's like very generous. I've obviously worked with it a lot, so like I know how it works. But I was just getting a bit bored of it. It was like I just want to try a different sock yarn, even like a different like commercial sock yarn, like Regia, R-E-G-I-A is one. And then what were the other ones that I was thinking about? I thought about getting Mondim, but obviously everyone heard mixed reviews about whether it actually works for socks. So I was like, meh. And I've been just looking on the internet for ages trying to pick a sock yarn. I was like, you know what, this is silly. Just go to Kathy's Knits, see what she's got. Maybe she'll have something else. But she didn't. But she did have some colours that I did not know existed in West Yorkshire Spinners, and these are the ones that I've made. So I showed you the one, this was just a plain colour, just thought it was really nice. Just really liked it. This is one I almost didn't get because I also got this, which is basically the same, but variegated, which is part of their flower range, which is very exciting. I can't remember which flower this one is, but the other one that I've got and that I've started knitting with is called Peony. Lovely. So lovely. Just like, just nice, calming, very springtimey. And the other one that I got is like the complete opposite. It's like rainbow yarn, which I just thought a little bit of self-striping rainbow never goes amiss. And I thought could be my maybe like Pride month cast on, which is, I should know when Pride month is. Is it June? I feel like it's June or July. Everyone's gonna be like shouting at me, or maybe not shouting at me because you're very kind people. I also feel as though Pride month, there is like official Pride month, but then there's also like the month when Pride happens in various different towns, which is different. So at some point I will cast this on and I will think lovely queer thoughts while I make them. So that's all the colours that I picked up but did not cast on. But the pattern that I found that I wanted to knit is called Calgo Socks, and it's by Morgan Panich, or Panich, P-A-N-I-C-H. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Look. I cast these on yesterday and this is how far I've got, so you can tell I'm enjoying it. But I just make it focus on that. It's so pretty. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. It's lovely. I saw that pattern, I was like, I have to make it. For some reason, I thought that there was also like a Calico Sweater, like a sweater version of this pattern. And I looked it up and I couldn't find it, so I must be inventing it, which is a shame because the contrasting yarn that I'm using, these two colours, lovely again, which are Swans Island Sport Weight yarns. It's like washable. It's their washable sport weight collection in, what are they called? Chipotle and Pesto. What great colour names. Just lovely. They are yarns that I have had for ages. I bought these on a trip to Rhode Island just after we'd moved away, so I must have been like 14 or 15 when I bought these, and I was so excited because, again, Soul Mama cameo, she had knit something with Swans Island, and I went to this yarn store and I saw Swans Island and I was like, whoa, because it only existed in my brain. It hadn't existed like in real life. I was like, this is like American yarn, this is crazy. So I bought it. And I got 2 skeins of this colour and 1 skein of this colour, and I thought it was gonna like make a little baby jumper or something, but I just never did. I just held on to it for ages. And yesterday I really wanted to cast on this sock, and these were the only kind of contrast colours I had. And they're not obviously completely sock weight, and I actually don't know what their like fibre constitution is, like how well they'll be, how good they'll be for like heels and toes, which is what they will end up being. But it's worth a try. And I could find out just by looking at the thing, I just like couldn't tell you right now. But because I'm knitting it on 2.25mm needles, and this is a sport weight, it's like really dense, so I'm not that worried about it. And yeah, I just thought it was the perfect colours to combine with Peony. Lovely. It looks a bit Mondeem-ish, actually. Maybe that's why I was drawn to it. To make these socks. And I'm loving it. I'm knitting it on not a 9-inch circular. This is I've got the like Calgo small circular set. And this is, I'm using the 2-inch tips and the 6-inch cord. So that's 10 inches. I think that's what I'm using. So it's just like 1 up from 9-inch circular, and actually for me that is making the difference between it being uncomfortable and it actually feeling comfortable to knit on a tiny circular, which gives me hope for my life with tiny needles, haha, and with small circular needles, because I don't know, I struggle with them. Like the really tiny ones, like I'm making a sock, I'm doing the Lucky Me socks, which I showed you ages ago, and there's not been that much progress because I'm like, you know, telling myself that I need to knit them on the 9-inch circular to like get the practice in, so that I can get used to it, so that I can knit socks faster, which is like, that's a whole thing to unpack right there. But these actually, it's quite enjoyable because I started out knitting this on DPNs. I was just finding that quite tricky, even though I used to knit all my socks on DPNs, but now I use either the like Addy Crazy Trios, which I quite like. They're alright. They're like a good, you know, I used them for the colour work section because I did that in 2.5 rather than the main part of the sock, which I'm doing in 2.25. Yeah, I'm just not a 9-inch circular gal, but clearly I'm a 10-inch circular gal. Although I'm wondering if maybe I'm doing the maths wrong, because that does look so much bigger than my 9-inch circulars. But anyway, but it gives me hope that I can work on small circumference needles, which I would like to do in the future because I want to do a specific cardigan, which I will talk about at the end. But yes, that's the Calico Socks. Really enjoying them. I'm probably going to turn the heel this evening and then take them to work to do the like body of the sock before I get to it. And then there's like more colour work on the toe. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lovely. This is my next project. Swift transition. Smooth as anything. This is a long-term WIP, a long-term work in progress, and it is the half and half wrap, which I can't remember when I cast on, but it was before Christmas. So this has been at least for the whole of 2022, and I'm on my second colour. I don't know if I've shown it to you since I've moved on to my second colour. Oh, and look, I'm not even in the middle of a row. Amazing. Didn't even plan that. Didn't even plan that. And I'm some way through. It looks really crinkled up because it is really crinkled up in the bag. But yes, I finished all of the mushroom side and I'm now on to the peach side. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's been getting a lot of attention lately, which is why I thought I'd mention it, even though it's such like a long-standing WIP. But I'm not going to update you on it every month, every episode, because it's just garter stitch, isn't it? But it is as comforting as and addictive as everyone says. And now I can see like ends in sight, you know, even though, so I'm just on my second ball of this out of, I think I have 3. I bought 3, maybe 4, I can't remember. But I've still got some way to go, as you can see. I'll do this whole section here. And obviously the lines get longer, so it's only going to go slower from here. But I flew through this section just kind of knitting on it after school when I got home from work, while like watching something kind of crap on TV. Actually, there's something. I need something to watch on TV, guys. I've been watching This Is Us, like old episodes of This Is Us. I love Parenthood. I recently finished a rewatch of Parenthood. I love Gilmore Girls. I'm considering just like starting to rewatch Gilmore Girls again, even though it feels too early in the year to do that, because I just can't find anything that I'm like really enjoying watching. I was watching This Is Gonna Hurt on the BBC iPlayer, which is like about a doctor, and I just, not for me, like doctor stuff really freaks me out on TV. I just don't like it. So I watched a bit of that, but I was like, no thank you. I don't know why I started it either, because I know that I don't like that sort of stuff, so don't know what was up with that. I also started watching Jane the Virgin. Again, like fine, but not captivating. Yeah, and old episodes of This Is Us I've almost run out of, so I need something new to watch, guys. If you know anything that is like Gilmore Girls, it's like Parenthood, it's like This Is Us, what else do I enjoy? I really loved Little House on the Prairie back in the day. Maybe it's time for a rewatch of that. That was one of my favourite shows as a kid. And now I knit shawls all the time. What are the odds? So that is something. But yeah, if you have anything to watch, I just need something like calm when I come home from work to just like chill out. I kind of like house design shows as well, but I think I want something with a narrative for watching after work. That's like, you know, like an interesting story, something to keep my interest, but that is like calm. Oh, Virgin River, I also loved Virgin River. I guess that's not that calm, it's quite whatever, but I've also started rewatching that as a potential route for after school watching. Anyway, half and half shawl, loving it. This is J C Rennie's yarn, and actually this takes us perfectly into my next segment, which is talking about things that I want to make next. One of the things that I've been thinking about making for ages, and then saw on the Purlwise podcast, and also one of my friends is making it, is the Marit cardigan by Kristin Drysdale. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's like a colourwork cardigan. The Gentle Knitter made one. It was beautiful. And I would like to make one, and I'm thinking about using this yarn to make it because it's very thin, it's very sheepy, and the colours, there are many of them. I've been on their website and they have a lot of colours, and they also sell their yarn by the cone. So if I'm making like a bigger thing, I think it would be useful. They not only sell it by the cone, they also sell it in like 10 gram or like 10 meter tiny balls, or like whatever, I guess for like if you're doing darning. But I could order quite a few of those in a few different colours, do a few different swatches, figure out what colours I wanted to use, and then order cones, which is like, it's like £30 for like the biggest cone, which I can't remember exactly how much you get in that, but I'm sure like in a colourwork cardigan like that would be enough. But they also do them in like smaller sizes, so I think I could be quite economical with it that way, is my thinking, rather than getting loads of the like tiny balls that they recommend, or not that they recommend, but that I would use for the Jameson and Smith colours, which people say is really good for it, and obviously like that's what the yarn that you're supposed to use, but I want to do something different. I want to do something different just for fun, just just try something out. So I'm gonna do that, potentially. That's number one on the docket for potential next thing that I want to make. The other thing that I'm thinking about is doing another spring sweater, which I talked about in my vlog from ages ago. That's not what I want to talk about, there's a different bag of yarn. When I got all of the Malabrigo yarn, I still have these two in one of their jewel tones, which is, this is Tiger's Eye. It's nice, it's very soft. I really enjoyed working with it with the other one, but for some reason I've kind of lost momentum thinking about making. I was going to do the spring sorrel sweater by Wool and Pine, but I'm not that excited about it. I think maybe it's the sweat thing. Like maybe it's having worn the other one and been like, can I wear sweaters in the spring? Like, will they start smelling bad? Don't know. So I'm like, do I want to put all this effort into something when actually I've got kind of other stuff that I'm enjoying making? I don't really want to cast on a new sweater. And staring at me over there is my Ela sweater, which I'm supposed to be making for a friend, and I really want to finish for this summer because they live in London, where I'm going to be a little bit over the summer, and I want to finish it for then. But again, I'm just bored of the yarn. We're sensing a theme here. I get bored easily, whether it's with textures, TV shows, tea. It's a new tea. That's just the way it is. So yes, I've got this yarn. I feel like I wanted to include it in my like next up, what am I going to make next section, because I would like to make something with it, and I'm not, like, I'm keeping it out. I'm not putting it, I've got a little cupboard up there where I keep the yarn that I'm not using in like a plastic box so that it's safe from the moths, but I'm not relegating it to there yet. I'm going to see if maybe I want to start a spring sweater with it in the next few weeks, but we'll see. To be continued, I guess. And yeah, the other things that I'm thinking about making are, it's mostly just those two that are kind of on my mind. In theory, I'm making a jumper for my dad. Hi Dad, if you're watching, let's talk about your jumper. So I need to figure that out. I have like loads of patterns that I've put, but I just haven't found one that like fits the requirements that he was talking about, or like the style of sweater that I want to go for. If anyone knows a like good men's shawl collar sweater, let me know. That has a bit of like interest around the top, so it's not just plain. That would be great, like texture or color work, but also with the shawl collar. Hard to find. I might have to just mix two jumpers together, I don't know. But yeah, I've been putting that off, so I need to go back to that. Yeah, and that's all I can think of for things that I want to make next. I was really excited about making that calico jumper, but it doesn't exist. I think I've been thinking of like a different jumper that Mackenzie at M3 had made when she did her like spring sweater video like last year, and included one that has a flower pattern on it, and I think I mistook it. I got confused, so maybe I'll make that one. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like a pink flower thing. So I might make that, in which case I'll be buying some more fingering weight yarn to go, or sport weight yarn in a sweater quantity. I'm really into the garments this year, like it's happening. Garments. Forgot to say the T there. I think I've completed a sweater for every month this year, because I did 2 J C Rennie Knits everyday sweaters in January and February. Then March I finished my like red brioche cardigan, and then the Sarah sweater, Sarah cardigan I think is what it's called. And then in April I finished this Kevat sweater, and now it's May. And I don't know what sweater I'm gonna finish in May. I'm currently, maybe it'll be the other one, I don't know. But I would like, I think, to make a garment every month, if that's possible. Maybe I'll finish my number 18 sweater / vest, depending on how much yarn there is. So we will see, we will see. But yes, those are the things I'm thinking of. There was one more thing. If you're still watching, hello. This is, I think, my longest episode yet. I feel pretty pleased with myself. We've got lots to talk about. There's been a lot to catch you up on, and I'm trying to take it slow. Take it slow this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon, with the birds in the background. These are my crew socks. Speaking of taking it slow, that I cast on, I mean, must have been like ages ago. You'll probably remember better than I do. At least, like, it must have been last year, I think, unless my memory is really like serving me wrong. And I hate them. I really don't like them. You hold the yarn double for this, and it's just like, yeah, it's too thick and ungainly, and I don't like how it looks, and I don't like how it feels. And I, yeah, was pleased with myself for the top because it was a provisional cast on. I'd never done a provisional cast on before, so that was something that I wanted to do. But yeah, I'm just hating the sock, so I'm gonna unravel it. And this again, this is a no nylon sock yarn from Washable in this yellow. And it's in 2 balls because I was holding it double, and I'm just not enjoying it I've obviously had this like one sock on the needles for many months, so I'm gonna rip it out. Not urgently, because I don't really need the yarn for anything, because I've got plenty of sock yarn, but potentially to just get the needles back. This will be dying a froggy death, so say goodbye to the crew sock, unless I really have a change of heart and decide to keep knitting it. But I think we're done. I just don't like it. It's not very delicate. It's quite boot socky, and I'm like, I have enough boot socks. That's not my style anymore. I don't want it. So yeah, I'm gonna put that away. Into this little Aesop bag, which I got in a charity shop. I don't own any Aesop products. Maybe I should. There's a little Aesop shop near us. It always smells really nice. But it's good for just keeping a single sock in. So yes, I've still not even finished my tea. It's been 50 minutes. I'm still... That's my last sip of the tea. And actually, that sip is making me hungry. I'm ready for dinner. It's 7:20. It's 7:20. I hadn't realised it got so late because it's just beautiful outside. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna direct upload this with no, oh, I was gonna put that video on the top. Maybe I'll skip that and just direct upload this. Who knows? You'll know because you're watching it, but I'm gonna try and get this up tonight with my little dinner. Because hopefully there'll be not that much editing, because I've done it all in a oneer and I've been talking at you for so long. So I hope you've enjoyed this longer episode. Let me know how you found the format, all of the various questions that I've asked you throughout this. Let me know. TV shows, men's sweater patterns, just remembering, catching you up on what we've talked about. And yeah, I will be back when there's more stuff to talk about. It's so nice to see a few more of you here. Yeah, I just feel like I just really enjoy doing this, and I really enjoy that people watch it and enjoy it and talk to me about the things that I'm making. And yeah, I'm almost coming up on my like 1 year kind of coming back to YouTube anniversary, because I had done some YouTube in the past, if any of you have looked at it further back, but then I came back and started doing the knitting stuff kind of last summer, so I have to do something special for that. Maybe I'll do a little giveaway or something, so that's very exciting. And I think that's everything. I'm gonna stop and try and send this video from my phone to my computer, and then send it from my computer to YouTube, and you're watching it, so it's worked. And I'll see you later. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.